Hello everyone, this is Jess from Cook Smarts, and it's been a really long time since I've done an Instagram live or really any sort of live, but I really wanted to make it more of a habit this year despite how busy everything's gonna be. First, I just came home. I usually am in the office, but I came home to a perfectly clean kitchen. My cleaners were here today, and that makes me so happy. So I know a lot of you are watching the Marie Kondo stuff with decluttering. So just coming home to this like empty, clean kitchen has been just so great for my like emotional and mental health-being. Hi Kim, how's it going? Okay, so first a little bump check. I am now at, I don't know if you can see, 26 weeks with kid number 3. That's going to be kind of, I just started the last trimester, so I've got a lot planned for the next 3 months before I go on hopefully a few months of maternity leave. Not really sure. I didn't really take a maternity leave with my first one, and that is one of the downsides of owning a business. You don't really get your traditional maternity leave, but at the same time, I have such flexibility and such ownership of Cook Smarts. I think it is more than worth it, and I've been really lucky to have really sleepy babies. My first 2 slept really well, and so I was still able to do a lot of work. So we'll just see how things go. But anyways, first I want to wish everyone a happy new year. I know we're a couple weeks already into 2019, but before we kind of dive into this new year, I wanted to take a look at what we did in 2018. So my team today asked me, really my team of Jackie has asked me to talk a little bit about everything that we did in 2018, see what you guys thought about it, and just let you know all the things we had planned for 2019. So 2018 was a big year for us. It was kind of that year where, you know, we've been growing steadily, and last year was really a year about just figuring things out and getting things on a good place so we can grow some more. A lot of it was really on the development side. So we're a small business, we're super resource constrained. One of the hardest things as a business owner is just figuring out like how to spend the budget, what makes most sense for the business, what's going to please you all, our community and our members, and it's going to make the biggest difference in your lives and making it easier when using our meal plan service. So last year I was really excited to find a developer, a new developer, and was just awesome. Like he just came in and like really wanted to understand Cook Smarts and what we were about, and these are the couple things that we got to tackle and get off the list, of things that you guys have been, improvements that you all have been asking for a really long time. So we did a redesign, and while that wasn't something that people were necessarily asking for, like we had a really nice, website. It worked really well. It looked good on mobile, but we wanted to bring it into like a more modern feel, like with the rest of our website. We have a great designer, and that enabled us to add all these additional features. So we did this huge redesign, and as a result, we were also able to add things like tags. So Nicole, who's actually one of our most loyal customers and cheerleaders and so helpful, she's actually slowly going through the entire archives and tagging each individual meal. And that's a lot because each of our meals has 4 different diet versions. And so something that might be budget friendly, the vegetarian version isn't budget friendly for the original version or the paleo version. So she's going through each of the diet versions and adding these tags, so it makes it so much easier as a result for you to search. So that was also another big improvement, is search. So I don't know, for those of you who have been using us for a long time, you probably noticed that we have changed add a meal, so it's like a lot more just user friendly, so you can search through the entire meal plan database. You can filter by your favorites, you can filter by tags, you can filter by diet versions, all that stuff. And also by one of the things we added that you guys have been asking for forever, that like was such a pain point for me, was dependency. So like if you were to add a meal and it was referring, it had a dependency to a previous meal, it was it was a pain in the butt to like find it. I totally get that. So now that if a meal has a dependency, like if it was a fried rice that depends on rice made the other day, or pulled pork pizza that needed pulled pork to be made the previous day, it is something that it's got a link that says there's a dependency and here's the original meal. So that was a huge deal for us. It was one of those things that was not hard to do developmentally. It just kind of took a little bit of time of digging through, because now that we have over 5 years worth of recipes, every time we add something like this, it just takes a little while. It takes some woman hours to kind of get everything through. So sorry, you had a question about what meal. So if you have I just need a more specific question, more specifically what you're asking about regarding the meal, and I will hopefully be able to answer you. And also what happened in 2018 is we started off the year, some other things that happened that you probably did not see because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happens, like just a lot of computer stuff that's like over my head these days. But we started off the year on a bad note. We like had our longest outage because as we've grown, basically like I've been driving, if you kind of compare Cooksmarts to a car, I've been driving this car for a really long time and I never really took it in for a tune-up. So that's what was happening, where like we had this great site, but we weren't really like doing any maintenance because that's the stuff, it costs money and like it's not really like user facing in the sense that like you guys weren't really seeing it as if we were to do some maintenance on it, you probably wouldn't see it as an improvement, an obvious improvement. And so we kind of always held off on it. And so we started off the year with like the entire database crashing because we had like too many recipes and too many queries and all these things. And so that was like a big chunk of last year, was just getting everything tuned up, maintaining it, making the database more robust and secure. Again, I don't really know what that means, but our developer is awesome and he did it. And now everything's works just a little bit faster, and hopefully it's one of those things like if it works well, you don't notice it, which is what we want. Like we never want it to be like, oh my God, the thing is so slow, or like, what's going on here. So that is something that was really important that we invested in, and I'm glad we got that done. So because that's going to enable us to do a lot more this year. And so before we move on to 2019, the last thing I want to talk about 2018 is our meals. I feel like our meals have gotten so much better. A lot of it is because our process has gotten so much better. For those of you who've just kind of started with the service, we've been around since 2013, so it's been over 5 years. And in the beginning, I was doing all the recipes and developing them and testing them. And it's made such a difference to really bring the whole team in on the process, as well as for me to not do it anymore. And so when I went on maternity with my first child, about almost 4 years ago, I hired a meal plan developer, recipe developer, who's also named Jess, and she's based out of Kansas City, and she is fantastic. And so we all kind of come up with the ideas together and then just sort of do a lot of editing together, and it's made the quality of both the recipes as well as the output, the finished meal, so much better. So last year we kind of saw our highest ratings ever, like overall average ratings across all of our meals. And so each year it's actually a bit of a challenge. Like each year we want to do better than the previous year, but we're setting the bar a little bit high for ourselves. So if we disappoint you, we apologize. But we're going to try to keep it going. This last year, we were in Kansas City in October. We meet up once a year, and we just plan out the entire year's worth of meals. It's crazy. It's so productive. But it makes huge difference that all four of us main team members are in the same room for 3 days straight, just kind of figuring out what are the meals that are going to be most appealing to our members, as well as the order of things, and making sure we don't have too much of any one thing or any one cuisine. So it's a lot to kind of keep track of, and it's really fun that we get to do it together, and we have this huge spreadsheet process. And this year was definitely by far the smoothest. It was just really cool. I kind of wish we could live stream our entire 3 days worth of meetings. It'd be boring for some of you, but I think for some of you who really like kind of the Tetrising aspect of things and kind of the behind the scenes of a small company, it would also be really fun. Okay, so that was 2018, a really, really busy year for us. In 2019, we've got a lot planned. We've got some great meals. And so this year we kicked off something that we've never done before. And for January, we've made all of our paleo meals Whole30 compliant. I, for one, am not a Whole30 person. I'm not any... I'm really the Cooksmarts philosophy is really all about enabling you to cook, to really kind of just take charge in the kitchen and be in control of what you put into your body. So we're all about just teaching you how to cook. But we do know that a lot of folks really want to try Whole30, especially in the beginning of the year, or other resolutions, health resolutions. And our goal is to support you as best as we can. So I think that's going really well so far. We've seen a lot of people try the Whole30 meals. And even though it's just dinner, we think that just having that to not think about hopefully has been helpful. And again, my whole thing is it's all about, I think, whether you do Whole30 to its fullest or not, I think the whole point of it is really to just realize, like, you know, how much processed food maybe you have in your, that you typically consume, because it's really about kind of taking away all the processed food, all the sugar, all that stuff. And I think it's just a good kind of check in with like where, you know, where you're kind of, where you are in health, and how much, what kind of ingredients you're bringing into your house, into your body, all that stuff. So, okay, other things that are on our development roadmap that you all have been asking for, you know, quite some time. And again, like, thank you for your patience. We're a small business. We're doing our best. But we really, of course, want to just make everyone, we just want to reiterate like how much we love our community, how much we listen to you, and how, you know, you all are the ones that are like directing where we go with the business. And also, you know, from a product perspective, like really what are the features that are most important to you and going to be most helpful. So things that get asked over and over again, and these are the things we're really kind of looking into, and that'll be kind of on the near-term roadmap, are integrating with more grocery list delivery apps. So I know that other meal plan services are integrated with Walmart or Amazon Fresh. Kroger's, I think, has ClickList. So there's a bunch of different things. Shipt is a big one people ask for, SHYPT. I think it's in our area, but anyways, it seems like it's a pretty also ubiquitous one. Right now, we're only integrated with Instacart, so we're definitely looking into the other grocery list apps. Another one that's associated with the grocery list is being able to add your own ingredients to the grocery list. We totally get that, like, it would be so much easier if you had just one grocery list. It could, you know, you could add your other items, breakfast, lunches, just general staples and snacks to our dinner grocery list. So that's also something we're looking into. Something that we are really excited about is collections. So not only will we as CookSmarts, the service be able to create collections, like these were our best meals of 2018, but you can also make collections, because people often ask, like, it'd be really nice if I could have, you know, like the favorites button is great, but it'd be really nice if I could make a list of these are all the things I want to cook, or these are things that like really were big hit with the kids or my partner or whatever it is. So being able to make personal collections. One thing that's really more for our purposes of growth is that we want to bring back our referral marketing program. We had one for a while, but then it kind of got attacked by spammers and stolen credit card numbers and not fun stuff. Again, like, this is the not fun stuff for running a business. Most of it is great, but sometimes you have to deal with bad people like spammers, like not spammers, scammers who had like stolen credit cards and started creating all these accounts. So we're bringing that back so that, like, when you refer friends, you'll be able to earn Amazon gift cards. So hopefully, you know, that's will be good for folks that are telling their friends about CookSmarts anyways, and also good for us, because we would love to grow and have more people in the community. Going back to features, the other things that people have asked for, and this one is one of those things where, you know, it's kind of all about, like, you know, if we had known from the very beginning, we would have built things differently. But right now, it's actually, so you're not able to add a different diet version of the same meal. So if you look at a meal this week and you're like, oh, I really like the original and the vegetarian version, I want to make both, you can't add both of them to the same dinner menu. You'd have to go to a new dinner menu and kind of separate them. And the reason for that is just really how we built out our database. I don't really know anything beyond that, but it's something that, like, we hope to do in the future, fix up our database so things like that can happen. Because we know a lot of people do it, and like, that's great, because if you have a meal of ours that you want to make two versions of, that makes us so happy that, like, both a vegetarian and paleo, or vegetarian original, whatever it is you're excited about, that makes us super excited. Other things, search improvement. So I think search has improved a lot. As I mentioned, in 2018, we've added ability to filter by tags, by favorites, all that stuff. But I think something that people really want to be able to filter on is calories. So we haven't looked deeply into this, so there's no promises that this is on the roadmap, but it's something that people have asked for, and hopefully we'll be able to fit it in. So you might want to search for meals under 400 calories. I think right now in the filters, we do have like a low cal option. I think that is anything under 400 calories. So if you use the tag, if you click on that tag, you will only see meals that are under 400 calories. But some of us might be restricting calories more, even though I think 400 calories is a great number for a very healthy number for an average meal. And then also, better filter for ratings and reviews. So one of the things I had mentioned in our Facebook community group, for those of you who are a part of it, you might have seen this post, but we saw a dip in the number of ratings and reviews. I mean, not the average ratings of meals, but really like the number of people that were submitting reviews. And I know it's kind of like, you know, from a UX perspective, it's not very obvious or not very like in your face after you make a meal to be like, hey, put a rating or review in. But if you can remember, please do that, because we do as a team go through all of that stuff, and that really helps us figure out what's working, what's not working, and that gives us input into what we should doing in the future. But okay, going back to what you would like to see more of in ratings reviews is being able to filter by diet options. That makes total sense. So that is something we are going to be able to tackle this year. And then hopefully once we get through all of these other things, we are going to create a mobile app finally. You know, people ask us about this all the time, and our excuse is really like, it's not our excuse, it's really the reason we say we don't have one is one, we're a small business, and because we are such a feature-rich app, like maintaining it isn't the same as just like uploading something to iTunes or the Google Play Shop and just never, you know, just kind of setting and forgetting. There's like lots of updates that need to be made, and to make sure all their features work in an app just like takes a little bit more development hours. And as a result, I never am someone that like, I'm an overachiever. Like when I do something, I want to do it well. And I just don't feel like we are at the point where we had the resources to do it well and make sure that it was like gonna stay maintained and everything. But I think we are getting there. And so and also my other reason was like, if you like bookmark the mobile site onto your phone, onto the homepage of your phone, it kind of functions like an app, because you know, the site itself is very mobile. It's mobile responsive. It's designed for mobile, so it ideally is like pretty much the same. So really, an app isn't going to be that much difference. But I think for some people, they really like that kind of native mobile app experience. We're kind of like logged in automatically. So we are going to hopefully get to that by the end of this year. So fingers crossed. Wish us luck. Anyway, so that was a lot of information, but I just wanted to kind of check in with everybody and kind of let you know how our 2018 went and what we're really excited about for 2019. We've got a lot on our plate. I've got a lot on my belly, but again, I'm hoping that I'll be very productive over the next couple of months. Oh, something that folks, if you are anyone that's joined and we're watching this later, I'm going to be, one of my goals for this year is to be launching a podcast. And it's going to be cooking. It's going to be like cooking, meal planning, and just Cook Smarts, the company related. So if you have any topics that you think I should cover, I'm going to try to make them pretty short episodes, 20-minute long, because we're busy people. We have very short attention span. So if you have a topic that you think would be really fun for me to cover in a podcast episode, please leave it in the comments. I would love. I'm collecting ideas right now and kind of calendaring it all out so that I can get a bunch done before I go out on maternity leave. And that is what you're going to hear from me and while I'm out for a few months. Okay, and the last piece of housekeeping I have is we're almost to the end of January, and we are in the middle of January is actually our biggest month because everyone's got their New Year's resolutions. We see our Google traffic, see our traffic spike. We see all these people signing up for the meal plan service. So we have a big New Year's promotion sale, 25% off our meal plan service using the code NY2019. So it also applies to Nourish. So for those of you who have not heard of Nourish, just go to cooksmarts.com/Nourish. It's a 6-week online cooking program that will really change your kind of approach to the kitchen. It'll change the way you like use your knife, and it'll really save you time. That's kind of the whole point of Nourish, is to improve your knife skills and also help you cook without recipes, and that's going to help you save a lot of time in the kitchen. So both our meal plan service and Nourish are on sale. Just go to cooksmarts.com for more information, and the code again to get 25% off either of them is NY2019. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to get to see you guys on live a little bit more. It's one of those things, like I always want to do it, but it's just like, I forget or I make excuses. But I really do love kind of just chatting with you all, even though it's really strange to be just staring at yourself in a phone. I'm still kind of getting the hang of social media, and I find it all to be really weird. But I know it's a great platform, and a lot of you, hey Vanita, how are you doing? And I know a lot of you use it, so I'll try my best to get on here more often. And if there are things that like would be, of course, whether it's the podcast episode or other things that would be helpful to you in your health journey in 2019, let me know in the comments below. All right, everyone. Bye and have a great Thursday afternoon. See ya.